Guys, it's same night, obviously, because I have the same clothes on. I have with me today my stretch lobe and basically what I use to stretch it. So basically I went back and bought some tapers because I used to have an acrylic set of tapers and plugs, which were metal, stainless steel to be exact. And I learned that you should never stretch with acrylic, but I was bad, and I stretched this up. It started out at a 16, and I did use stainless steel for that. It wasn't implant grade, unfortunately, and that's the best metal that you can use. So if you can't go for implant grade, definitely just go for the regular stainless steel, but make sure it's high grade stainless steel, like right underneath implant grade. But yeah, so I stretched that, and then I stretched it up to a 14 with my acrylic taper, and I followed it up with an acrylic plug, which you should never do. But the next day I was very good, and I went out and I bought, some ring-shaped, what would you call these? Ring-shaped captive hoops, whatever you want to call it, in 14 gauge, and this is what this is. If you guys saw my last video, I actually replaced an industrial bar with these because I'm trying to let my ear heal. But if you want more information on that, it's the video right before this one, and I might link the thingy down below in the description. Definitely check down below just in case. If not, it will be the video right before this one. So yeah, basically I stretched it up that way with acrylic, and then followed it up with these, and then I let it go for like 3 weeks or something, and then I decided that I had an EMT volunteer interview, which I thought it was going to be for a full-time paid, but because I didn't have any experience, I'm now an EMT volunteer at Waterford. I almost said Washington Township. 2 different places. But Waterford EMS, thankfully, were grateful enough to take me on, so I will be working over there now. You guys may or may not see me depending on where you live. That's in Echo, New Jersey. But anyway, so yeah, I stretched it out because I didn't want to have a big hoop in my ear, and I wasn't willing to put the acrylic back in my ear because I know acrylic is a no-no, because that's what I stretched with here, and that's how I learned. But yeah, so while I was there, I also picked out, I went to Hot Topic, not the best, but while I was there, I picked out these. I have a silver pair of these with like little plastic beads that look almost like opalite, that screw on. These are externally threaded. Try to get internally threaded, but if you can't, externally threaded work almost as well. The reason is that through a fresh piercing, and even a heel piercing sometimes, it can really irritate it, just going through the hole, especially when you're at such a small size. Don't know why, but just does. Anyways, I'm not going to be taking this out for a while, so. Anyways, so I went and I bought these 12 gauge tapers and mini plugs, which are basically just like studs with O-rings on them. And if you don't know what an O-ring is, it's basically a ring in the shape of an O. It's a rubber band like that. That's essentially all it is. And you should never really wear rubber around your ears, but it keeps it in place, especially since this is single or no flared. Single flared means that one side is bigger than the other, or the rest of the jewelry, and double flared means both sides are bigger than what's in the middle. So yeah, I went out and I bought these, and then I stretched it up. Basically, I followed it through. What am I trying to say? I oiled this up. I oiled the piercing hole up a little bit because at such a small size you can never fully get it inside, so I just threw both things up. I put it through. No pun intended for those of you who have dirty minds. With lube and put it through. Yeah, you know who you are. So yeah, I just gradually pull this through, like usual. When you stretch your ear, wait a long time. And I just pulled it through, and for some reason, just like with my first hole, when I went from a 14 to a 12, it was like the easiest. Going from a 16 to a 14 it's not supposed to hurt. It was just like a little bit weird feeling, a little bit tingly for a little while. But I pulled it through it, and then I couldn't follow the plug through for some reason, so I just took this out, took the O-ring off the plug, was just sitting there with this out of my ear, and pushed the plug through, and it felt like it was a 14, so felt like it was the same size, even though it's a little bit bigger, and you would be able to tell if I had, like, say a 14. The bottom is, like, all the way at the bottom is, like, a 10, or 16, my bad, and then it goes up, and then the middle part is the 14, and then the rest is a 12, so you could see a little bit of the difference, and the black is a little bit bigger, even though it might not look like that on your guys' part. But these are by Morbid Metals, and I asked the cashier, and she said they are metal. Usually you can't trust when they say it, but I could feel like it is metal, and it hasn't faded, it doesn't have any scratches in it. So yeah, I did that, and so far I've had this in since I had my interview on Tuesday. It is now Thursday morning, midnight, almost 1 o'clock. So yeah, there's your background. And my face is red for whatever reason. But yeah, I've had it in. I could probably take it out, leave it out for a little bit. I'm not going to though. Even though I really want to show you guys the hole. No pun intended again. And what it looks like, I do have like a little bit of extra skin there. I'm not sure, that shouldn't be a blowout because there's no reason for me to have a blowout, but you know. So yeah, there's that. I'm really excited because I can play with it, I can move it around. There's no dead skin whatsoever, which is really weird because when you have metal or even acrylic sometimes, you can have dead skin because that's just a natural thing. And there's no dead skin coming out. So that's a little bit weird, but yeah. So there's that. So stay tuned for my next video. Any questions, comments, concerns, you know, leave them down below, and like, subscribe, and obviously comment, because I just said that. Good going, Angelica. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about this. So yeah, this is at a 12. I'm taking it up to maybe an 8, if that, depending on what my EMT volunteer job allows me to do. Because eventually they're going to throw me on full-time once I start to know what I'm doing. Still going to be in the back of the bus, because you got to be 21 to drive the ambulance everywhere you go. So, that's okay though. I like my job, even though I haven't started it yet. I rode with the EMTs and paramedics before, so shouldn't be too bad. And it's not going to be me by myself, obviously. I'm going to have a partner. So, yeah, there's that. Stay tuned for the next video. Love you guys. Keep on rocking with the purple hair. Still fading red. And take care of your piercings. Don't get blowouts. And wait to stretch your lips. Or any part of your body that you're stretching. Because it will be worth it in the end to not have a blowout. Bye.